on the troll.
Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back again. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about the case, and it all begins finally after back and forth. It all begins, and at the beginning, as we begin, it is clouded by a lot of confusions. Just stay tuned, stay with us as we unpack. On your side, please like the video, share the video, and definitely subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We are here. You will find us here. If you left us at some point, we are definitely here. So your chance right now, as I'm busy with this, is to make sure that you subscribe, and become a member. Also, if you are not a member as yet, become a member and like the video. It's Friday. Let's not twenya each other and stop the video there and there to give you a chance to like and all that. Please like the video willingly so that we continue peacefully. Greetings to everyone. We know it's late, but it is Friday, man. We are here. We couldn't go anywhere. We
couldn't.
Yeah. Yes.
Apologies for the late start. We apologize.
Obviously, once we get into this point of cross-examination, this is where we are going to take time. We don't just rush things. Here, we're definitely going to be
is important
long because we take time. We don't rush. So, Emily, let me not waste any time. Just a reminder, guys, yours is to like, ours is to continue giving you what you were waiting for. And without any disturbance, if you do that, if you keep on pushing, liking, commenting, we are here for everything. Emily, the floor is yours.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. Family, we are back, ne? Abana Gininda, ukipa magama, ukipa indaba, ukipa. Like there's a lot coming out that I was not expecting to hear. Everything. I'm just thrown off guard. I'm like, huh? What? Like today was a lot for me. Or yesterday was a lot for me. It was a lot. So now we're going to try to unpack it bit by bit, and hopefully you guys can also assist by deliberating with us as we deliberate along, you know. So Mgomezulu was present in court today. So before the proceedings started, there was a meeting in the chambers, and Advocate Baloyi said that counsel can put the discussions that they had in the chambers on record. So Mgomezulu, in my opinion, looked very much still ill, and it felt like he should be at home recovering. But of course, he was summoned. Remember, the judge said that even if it means he had to be carried there, he had to go and make an appearance at the court. So Mgomezulu told the court that he indicated that he is getting much better, but he's not in a position to cross-examine the witness. He made a request that this cross-examination should be suspended until after the cross-examination of Advocate Mshololo, which is what initially was said, you know, and then all of a sudden now people were now, you know, not sure anymore. So he had to be summoned, and it still is how he had communicated via Advocate Nisi last week. And he said that he would then proceed after Advocate Mshololo, and the parties have agreed. And Advocate KHUMALO this time around is the one who agreed to stand in for him. And he said that that had been communicated with his client, accused number 1. And on the basis that the condition in court will hamper or disturb the progress of his healing, Nxumalo and Sibia confirmed this arrangement. Nxumalo said that he was approached by Mgomezulu after they met in the chambers, and he requested him to stand in for him in order to allow him to recuperate. And he said that he has no problem with it. He said that it was communicated to his client, Mr. Sibia. He also said that if there is anything that Mr. Sibia will wish for him to convey to Mr. Mgomezulu, he will take whatever instruction and inform Mr. Mgomezulu about the developments and whatever instruction that he's going to relay to him. The judge asked how long will the hiatus be regarding Mr. Mgomezulu's health. And he's asking this to Nxumalo and not directly to Mr. Mgomezulu. And he said that it will determine how long Nxumalo assists. So Nxumalo said that the arrangement was that the cross-examination is going to continue up until Advocate Mshololo, and thereafter Mr. Mgomezulu is going to come back and do the cross-examination. It is then at that stage that the arrangement is going to cease from Nxumalo's part. That's what he was saying, that's when he will stop. He will stop representing accused number 1 as soon as Mgomezulu comes back for cross-examination. This is after Advocate Mshololo. Then the judge asked if Mr. Mgomezulu confirmed it, and he said yes. Ramosipeli confirmed the arrangement, that he was the part of the discussions that happened in the chambers. Nisi, on the other hand, said now on those arrangements and the discussions that were taking place in the chambers, he was not a part of it, but he is happy with the arrangement. So Mnyeki, who was standing in for Advocate Mshololo, said he was not part of the discussion, but he does confirm that some of the issues were raised with the defense of accused number 5. So Baloyi said that regarding the discussion they had at the chambers, it was emphasized that Mr. Mgomezulu will follow the proceedings as they occur and will also get a running record of the proceedings so that he's fully acquainted with what is happening in court. The judge asked, how does the Mr. Mgomezulu follow the proceedings? And Baloyi said that the proceedings have been broadcast live. You hear that, Judge Ratham? They are broadcast live. They are broadcast live.
Yeah.
There's no commentary. There's nothing on the SABC live feed. It's just you. It's just you. Nothing else, nothing extra, nothing spicy, none of that. They're broadcast live. As everything is happening and unfolding in court, that's what they're capturing. And he said that he will follow the proceedings in whichever way to acquaint himself with what was going on in the court. And he said that he would communicate with Mr. Nxumalo. Should he recover before the end of the cross-examination of Mr. Nxumalo, then he should come back to court. And he was excused from court pending his recovery for the finalization of Ms. Mshololo's cross-examination, whichever comes first.
All right.
So,
thank you, Lindiwe Bebe.
Thank you, Lindiwe.
Bembe. Hey, Bebe.
Thank you, Lindiwe.
Bembe. Lindiwe Bembe. Thank you very much. We are number 1. Thank you. And I'm hearing that I'm not calling Malachi's name. I would like to do it now in case I don't call it. Yes, Malachi. Johannes, I see you. And I'm calling your name right now. Emily, continue as we remind you guys to like the video and do everything that is necessary to this video as much as you can. We appreciate it.
Well, the judge had a problem with Mr. Mgomezulu following the proceedings on YouTube. He said that he has a problem with YouTube because there are too many experts there.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do something many times, he declared us expect at some point. Now he's coming back to declare us also expect. Yeah, we are here. It's okay. It's not a problem. I don't see any problem because it doesn't impact the case. I hope that it doesn't. We are just here to give commentary where necessary. Where the media, mainstream media, is lacking, we are there to fill that gap. And that's what we are doing.
I get jinxed rays. Well, he was like, okay. My question, I hear that maybe he has a problem with the commentators on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's the new era. It's the new form of communicating things. It's via the internet. Fine. He will get with the program. So, my question is, why are you watching commentators on YouTube?
No, he said he doesn't watch it. So how can you believe someone who turns on his own admission of I do not watch YouTube, I do not watch mainstream.
He's not supposed to watch us.
Lindan Dube, thank you very much for your donation. We appreciate you. Yes, this is the #1 channel when it comes to commentary.
Thank you, Linda Dube. Thank you so much. May God continue to bless you, as well as Lindy as well. Thank you so much, guys. Highly appreciate it. So, yes, I'm asking myself, why is he watching commentators on YouTube?
Look,
because
we really do not care.
he's not supposed to.
I'm not massaged. Why is he not supposed to?
He's not supposed to. I
Why?
think he needs to be impartial and whatever. He's a judge. He's not like us. He's not like you and me.
Well, I mean, he said he's an expert. He said he knows how to separate. I don't know the word. When they see, I mean, if he can be swayed by the media, then Gininda's way of testifying could sway him also.
I feel like they are troubling him. Even the Sowetan article that he keeps bringing up, he's
really,
troubled.
I really do not. I didn't even want to give it a 2 cent of my time. His comment. It's okay. We are not in a competition with him. He says this, we say that. We are just here to set our grievances clear.
Yes.
Simple as that. And what we are seeing. And give our opinion. Whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, it's okay. It's not none of my business.
Okay. So Mgomezulu was shocked to hear that. He was like, huh? I heard the huh? In the background, I was like, what is he talking about? Because what is he talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Well, KHUMALO then said Mgomezulu confirmed that he received his emails. Whatever will come from him, he will be forwarding it to Mr. Mgomezulu to familiarize himself. And the judge read from somewhere. I think he had already written a judgment or prepared something like that. This is what he read. This is what the law stipulates. The cross-examination sequence, which pertains in a court of law, is governed by Section 127, and among others, it is discretionary upon the presiding officer as to sequential cross-examination, which is going to be exercised by various counsel in a particular case like this one, has to abide by the prescribed as to how the accused are being cited after being charged. In other words, if Mr. Sibia is accused #1, his counsel is expected to be the first to cross-examine the state witness. But these procedures are not immutable. They can be modified, added to if special circumstances arise, like in this case. This case started in July 2023, but previously he said that his colleagues who was involved in this case, referring to Judge Maumela, who had to recuse himself after being incapacitated physically, meaning he was ill. So he's aware that the allegations also arise against the accused. And during October 2014, about 10 years ago, this court did not go into the history of this trial, but the trial only began in 2019. February 2020 was the appearance of the accused before this court. So the overriding aspect is that no other accused should suffer prejudice in this trial as a result of the arrangement this court is agreeing to, as requested by Mr. Mgomezulu and his client, because the court is enjoined in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution to accord an accused and his counsel or attorney a fair trial as described in the Constitution by, amongst others, retired judge of the Constitutional Court, Johan Krichler, in this case of Attorney General in the Cape versus Key, which is a constitutional case. He said that in his view, this case defines the aspects that they refer to as a fair trial. And he's saying that he's also consoled by the fact that there is no apparent conflict of interest among the accused and their counsel regarding the changes or the charges facing the accused. The accused are facing 5 charges: the application of murder, Section 51, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Act, robbery, possession of a firearm, and also attempted murder and possession of ammunition. And further, the accused are also charged jointly with the allegation that they allegedly committed these offenses in a pursuant of a common purpose. Consequently, the honors of proof which rests on the state to prove its case beyond reasonable doubt is not designed differently from either of the accused. So the state has to prove those charges with the application of the doctrine of common purpose. All 5 accused also reserve their rights in terms of Section 35 of the Constitution not to disclose the basis of their defense up to this stage. What happened to yesterday's requesting of the witness? Because now he cited this in his so-called judgment to say that the defense is not forced to disclose the basis of their defense.
Yeah.
He continued to say it cannot be argued that the accused, any of the accused or counsel with regard to the health of Mr. Mgomezulu, that there has been a conflict of interest or there has been a denial of the concept of a free trial, which must pertain to the accused before court. So consequently, then that application is granted and Mgomezulu was then excused from court. He did leave. He did get up and leave and going to recover at home. So Ramasipili now started with his cross-examination of Brigadier Gininda and the lead investigator of this case. Ramasipili started with the visit to the Meyiwa family that Gininda said happened in October, tasked by Lieutenant General Nkomo, who was the head of detectives. Remember how yesterday I was just like, you know what, this cross-examination, look at how time flew, eh?
Yeah.
Ramasipili actually took the whole day, which is a first. There's so much to unpack.
It's not a whole day per se because they started.
But for me, this is the longest that I feel like Ramasipili has gone, and he still has a second day. He might make it a third day because there's so much to ask questions about regarding Brigadier Gininda's work on this case. There's so much to unpack. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. He's giving it every day.
Every day there's new stuff. It's very interesting.
He gives you homework all the time.
Yes. So look at how he was able to, and I don't feel like he even felt tired in the end. You know, he just wanted to stop because it's a Friday.
And I've always felt like he should be the first one. For this reason.
Yeah.
His cross-examination is all over. It opens a lot of things. It's fine, and I like it like that. And what I was not happy about is not his cross-examination per se. It was what happened in court yesterday, and I will stand by that. I will not change to say, because no. Today, yes, did a marvelous job, which was supposed to start the day before. You know, that's my feeling. Yes, but to say, okay, yes, it did well. He really did well, and I support that. But what I did not support is what happened yesterday, the day before yesterday.
Well, Gininda said that he did not remember the month, but it was in 2016 he confirmed that he made a statement to that effect. Ramasipili directed Brigadier Gininda to the statement and asked Brigadier Gininda to read that statement. And Ramasipili also mentioned that handwriting Brigadier Gininda was like his, which was like a doctor. You all know when they mean that the handwriting of a doctor is like, it means that really reading it is near impossible. So each must read their own handwriting. And he said that the one he had was not commissioned. Then Gininda said that he actually had the original one. So Gininda said that the statement was commissioned by Sergeant Mogola in 2019, November 29th. Mogola is his team in the investigation. Yeah.
Cold case team.
So she's the one who commissioned the statement. And Ramasipili requested Gininda to put the statement on record, and he did not want to read his personal number onto the record, which for me was a first, because most of the police officers, when they testify, they do read their personal numbers. They may not read their cell phone numbers. Extremely personal, but the personal number is like the number that they use in the police force, right? He didn't want to read it on the record, and he read the statement as well, and it started off by saying that on the 27th of October 2016, he was tasked by the Divisional Commissioner of Detectives General Nkomo to assist with the visit of the Meyiwa family in KZN. Also requested him with his team to assist with the investigation of the said matter under Forced Slaughters Case 636 of 2014. And it's prudent to mention that he was not a part of the investigation team at the time of the said matter when it initially occurred in 2014. He said that he was tasked by the Divisional Commissioner together with Lieutenant Colonel Mohala, Captain Mabuti, Sergeant Mohani. So Sergeant Mohani has been with Brigadier Gininda even prior to him being the lead investigator or being officially hired as the lead investigator, according to him, in 2019.
Delegated. So
Mohani has been with him.
Yeah, apparently.
And he said there were 4 other tactical team support members: Sergeant Sisiani, Sergeant Gwenya, Fusi, and Tswaile. So on the said date of the 27th of October 2016, he said that they arrived at Senzo Meyiwa's place where they met his family. Place, he means the one in KZN, his home.
Yes.
Where they met his family. He said that they introduced themselves and advised the family that they will be assisting with the investigation of the said matter in question. The family indicated to them that the son-in-law, Mr. Hlophe's statement has been very controversial in this case and has acknowledged or information that can help them with the direction of the case. He said that they were given the contact numbers of the son-in-law, Mr. Hlophe, and he's the one who phoned Mr. Hlophe, the son-in-law, from his cell phone to arrange for them to meet. Mr. Hlophe agreed to meet with them on the very same day in a wimpy next to his place of employment in the Durban area. He said that they met Mr. Hlophe where they identified themselves to him, and Mr. Hlophe was specifically interviewed by Captain Mabuti in Brigadier Gininda's presence. And his statement was written down by Captain Mabuti, where Mr. Hlophe then took an oath and signed it. And after the statement was written, it was given to Brigadier Gininda, and he said he inserted it on the investigation file where he marked it on top with his handwriting. The statement was never removed by him, he says, at any stage until the case docket was given by his team to Colonel Shibiri for further investigation. So he said that when I was reappointed by the current minister,
this is where I start getting off.
Why?
Because you were never appointed. You were never appointed for this case. You said you were asked to assist at the time to go to the family, not appointed. When you got reappointed, what do you mean? And not to go any further. So upon you taking that statement, you knew at that point now, or some of you and the people that you're investigating with and the people that send you, they knew that the section 205 of everyone allegedly who was in that house was taken. So now here's 2016. It's still 2016 from 2014.
That's like
so
2 years later.
You still have time to get this son-in-law's section 205 and get all the records on that section 205, right? And you didn't do that. But yet you had section 205 of other people, and you come back later, you tell us that there is nothing that can prove that Tumi called this guy.
Mr. Hlophe.
Mr. Hlophe. because you didn't do your job at the time. You just went to take the statement. God knows, in my opinion, what you were going to do with it. I don't know. You just took a statement. This is like procedure to make the family, to appease the family. Say, oh yeah, we did follow up to that. What exactly did you follow up to? Because you were supposed to get a section 205 from that guy. If really this case was anything that was supposed to happen, as an investigator, in my opinion, you were supposed to collaborate there.
Why isn't
your
the
collaboration was supposed to start
from there? Exactly.
You
Why
know,
is it not
now
starting
it's
from
too late. And then now we are facing the situation where you are arresting these people on the basis of God knows what. Because I still get confused as to how you arrived to this point of arresting these people. Before the so-called confession, I still get confused. And to me, it's such the emphasis on how you were in charge of the case sounds like the man appointed himself. You know, that's how it sounds like. The more you try to defend your position in this case and try to give other people lower positions, it just sounds like to me you are saying I was in charge because of your superiority, because of your position of where you were at the time. I don't know if that's how it's done. I mean, you are saying when you guys were appointed, there was a cold case team. Cold case team was appointed, and then Bo Buthelezi and Makubo are coming from the outside of that team. So, what makes you believe that you are in charge of those people?
You know, and even insisting I was the leader. I'm like, hey,
but it's fine. We'll take what you're saying until someone comes and says
No one says you are not the leader yet. No one has come to testify to that effect.
It's like you are answering the questions. To me, this Gininda guy, it sounds like he's answering the questions that are in 375 and also answering Makubo indirectly so.
It feels like he's responding
like
to
the fear
the other
of
docket,
what Joyce might come on that stand and say maybe, and what Makubo might come on that stand and say, let me start defending myself now. You know where continue. I'll tell you where I saw that.
And you know what, another thing that is troubling, it's Mabuti who took the statement from Mr. Hlope. But here he is, Brigadier Gininda, saying he's the one who put it in the docket. Njani ngaloku ngoba, you are the one who said you only started working on this case 2019.
Let's continue so that we poke more holes, because that's what we do.
And he said that when he was reappointed, when were you appointed for the first time?
That's wrong language right there for me. That was like, okay, hold on. You said you were only appointed on 2018 to this case.
Yeah.
Now reappointed.
Now you're reappointed.
Monica Mandi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica. May God continue to bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
And when you're saying you are reappointed, that's when Nami Manjing can't reappointed. When were you appointed for the first time? That's something that is hanging in the air right now. So he said he was reappointed by the current minister, or the then current minister, and the national commissioner. We all know that to be Biggie and Kehla Sithole, General Kehla Sithole. So he said that the minister and the national commissioner to revisit the said investigation, and the statement was still in the docket when the dockets were given to them by the previous investigation team. Copies of the docket were given to 4 members of the investigation team: Lieutenant Colonel Buthelezi, Lieutenant Colonel Ramohala, Warrant Officer Makubo, and later on Advocate Sirepo from the DPP in KZN. So now Ramohala, he's saying he's the one who was working with him in this cold case unit. And Buthelezi and Makubo were coming from different departments in the police. So he said that after this said docket were given to the DPP in Johannesburg for further guidance, the said statement was in all material times in the docket.
What, was it in Joburg now, not in Pretoria,
He
where
said in
the
Joburg
guidance was
now.
given?
He said that now, after this said docket were given to the DPP in Johannesburg for further guidance. There's no outcome from what the DPP in Johannesburg actually said. That's why I think ultimately it was taken to Pretoria, because there's no report of the outcome of what the DPP from
Why did they not
Johannesburg
prosecute?
said.
Yeah, T Brownskin, thank you. Good morning, fam. Made it for my favorite channel and analysis on YouTube. Thank you, T Brownskin. That's a lot coming from you, and thank you. Very generous gift. Yeah, let's continue.
So the DPP in Johannesburg, there's no official statement, I would say, that came from him or them,
and the
or
moving
that office.
of docket
And
also.
the moving of docket as
How
well.
did that happen?
Yeah.
You know, there is no such. It's like it was an ambush of some sort. Maybe people came and said, let's do it. You know, we'll do it because you don't want to do it. Maybe this is speculation. And it hinders on speculations, nothing else. So that's what I'm trying to look at, because from me, I don't understand why the same body, just different jurisdiction, why would it not persecute on this case? Why would it not press charges and do all that is necessary?
Or simply dismiss it if
or
you
simple
feel like
dismiss
there's
it.
no enough evidence, or you know what happens before a case is taken to
So
court.
there is no explanation, and it's a good thing that Ramsipiri read the one of Tifo's answering, because that's the one that was concerned about the jurisdiction of this case.
So after this said docket were given to the DPP in Johannesburg for further guidance, the said statement was in all material times in the docket, and when the dockets were given back to him as the lead investigator from the DPP, then he said that that statement was still in the docket and is still in the docket to date. I think this was also a response from Patricia Mashale, because Patricia Mashale recently said, you know what, that statement is back, the one that was missing. So I felt like maybe this is a response to her, because really in that court so far, no one has challenged this aspect or has accused him of such. I don't know if it makes sense. Of him stealing or whatever he's responding to. There's an allegation that he's the one who stole the statement.
Well, without saying much, it seems to me, if you listen to this guy, because he speaks a lot, he would later give you a hint as to where this comes from with regards to case 375. He said the media. He also said in case 375, there was such. He got that when he saw 375. You'll see. Just wait. And then when he was asked later as to who did this case, this docket of 375 is looking for in terms of pressing charges against, and then he counts Mapiri only and the people who are in the house. But initially, it seems to me he's saying that that docket is also accusing him of such. Therefore, if you are doing that, then that will amount to defeating the ends of justice. But you'll see what I'm trying to say. Continue going on that.
Well, he said that after the interview with Mr. Hlophe in October 2016, he has never met or phoned or spoken to Mr. Hlophe for any reason to date. He said that he's never taken or written a statement from him directly with his own handwritings or said in any interview other than what is listed above. Why not? Why not? You've taken over as the new lead investigator. Why not?
You
Talk
know,
to him
to
again.
me, let's like the video, guys. 511 people, like BBM. Let me see. Our moderator BBM was complaining about that, and then I'm echoing what they are saying. It's true. Let's press the like button. It's 500 people around here, and only 276 have liked this video. And I know those are regulars. Other than that, other people have not. So, what was I'm even disturbed? The train of thought.
Why didn't he go to Mr. Hlophe again as he took over as the lead investigator of the case? How come he didn't go again and go get his side of the story again as the lead investigator?
Didn't he say that was travested and there was a dead end? Then on the basis of that, that's maybe that's what he's saying.
Travesting part.
No, he didn't say it like I'm saying it, but it seems as if it was followed up. Okay, let me put it like that. He said it was followed up.
Or he went to Tumelo and Tumelo refuted,
and Tumelo refuted that. Yes, so he couldn't, even if he took over, have then went back to open that can of worm.
No, the thing is, to me, where I get lost is when you go to Tumelo and Tumelo refutes these claims. Tumelo does this in 2016 or Tumelo does this in 2018 because the statement of Tumelo was done in 2018. So when exactly
in a sense, he's saying it was done at the time.
So the statement of Tumelo was done at the time that he was refuted after they moved from Mr. Hlophe, or did he just say it with his mouth that I never said that or that never happened?
No, I will tell you.
And then he chose to believe Tumelo.
Forget about the statement. He said they went to Tumelo. Tumelo was not cooperating. They had to call someone that gave them this. Yes, and he wanted to talk to Brigadier. Sorry, so I forgot.
Brigadier Mudisi.
Yes, and then Mudisa then gave a blessing. Then Tumelo refuted that right away. So that tells you this was done upon that time, that interim time where he was assisting, in a sense.
At the time he was assisting, isn't that interesting? It was around the time that he was assisting.
So he took Tumelo's word for it. He took Tumelo's word. That is what maybe to me could be fun. Took Tumelo's word. It was okay, done and dusted. We've closed this. While on the other side, Bontans, when they said they don't know why they are there, they couldn't believe them.
And another interesting thing is, why not look at the section 205 of Tumelo Madlala? His phone was taken.
That's what we are made to believe. Which in up to this point, they have not went through that section 205.
No, in that.
Maybe it's there, but they have not went through through that section 205, which to me is very interesting, considering that there are such allegations.
So what I'm getting here is that Brigadier Gininda believes who he wants to believe, and then he goes and runs.
That's the feeling mostly. That's the feeling you'd get.
There's not really looking deeper into what people
investigation,
are saying.
To put it bluntly.
Investigating.
There is no investigation.
Element of that.
It's like we are sniffing, sangomarizing.
If he likes you, he believes you. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't believe you. That's what it's giving.
If you come to testify, he'd probably like you. And I'm not going to be answering any calls, guys. I know some people just wake up and call.
Then Ramosepele asked him, you state that you were not part of the investigators of 636. Who were the investigators? And Gininda said it was the late Brigadier Mudise. She was from Gauteng. So Brigadier Mudise was a female. And from what I'm gathering here is that she was working hand in hand with Brigadier Ndlovu.
Yes.
The one who passed away.
Unfortunately.
And today we find out from Brigadier Gininda that Brigadier Mudise also passed away.
Yep.
So Ramasipili then asked him, the gist of this question is that Mr. Hlophe made a statement by Captain Mabuti, and Gininda said, yes, the statement is in the docket. The purpose of the statement was to correct the allegation that it was missing. It was taken in his presence, but not by himself, but by Captain
Answering
Mabuti.
375 again in 636 case.
Ramasipili asked him, where did those allegations emanate from? And Gininda said that it came up in 2019. He did not need to make a statement in 2016. The allegations emerged in the media platform. That's when the NPA decided that he should depose a statement addressing this issue. So now Tumelo tells him that no, that did not happen. Right? This is in 2016.
Yes.
And in 2019, it resurfaces accusations. That's what he's saying. And he said they emerged from the media. I don't remember. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. But in 2019, were those such things happening in the media? Our media does not. Oh. 2019. Oh, okay. All right, maybe.
But it is now clear who was detecting on this case, in my opinion. In a sense, one can assume that the NPA is then not going to believe any other case because this case was built around them. How would they take 375 if this case was built around them?
And the fact that the NPA is the one that told him, no, depose a statement addressing this issue.
Which is what is currently happening all the time. We're addressing things even during the
trial.
The cross-examination. Then someone is bound to come to answer. It's a pattern that we are seeing now.
And furthermore, when docket 375 of January 2019 was eventually disclosed and we had to make copies for the defense, he said he saw a statement there by one of the investigators making the same assertion.
Now do you see? 375 was being answered again.
Insinuating that the statement that was taken by Mr. Hlophe is missing and that cannot be true. So Ramasipili then asked him, who were the investigators prior to Modise, and Gininda said that the first investigators were the DPCI, the Hawks.
There you go. They denounced that, didn't they?
They did.
They denounced that. They said they never got involved to this thing. They denounced that, the Hawks. Even on the documentary, they denounced that. That's where Spear was on record saying the Hawks
were not there to investigate
the scene.
The cell phones were seized and downloaded by the Lieutenant Colonel Nathling. He's from the Hawks.
Do you understand?
Ozanazo Brigadier Gininda. Utini ati the downloadings were done by Captain Mushwana. He's also from the Hawks.
So now that shifts and changes everything. Why would the Hawks, and that's the initial question that we asked.
Why were the Hawks?
And the public was asking that question. Why were the Hawks involved in a case of murder? A simple one murder. Why were they involved in that case? Why were they first on the scene? Now we are told that they downloaded the cell phones. Yet on the other side, they say, no, on the media, no, we're not there too. And then later on, one of their former members is seen to be working this case even when he's suspended.
Now, Zungu is testifying that he, one of the members who was a head of the Hawks at the time, around the time of the incident, 2014, was now talking to them, wanting to know what was happening with Zungu's statement and side of the story. Zungu did testify to that effect, that he met with one of them.
And right, there were allegations paused to say that there were people who were friends, and those allegations were okay, all right, yes, maybe, but it worries me now when a brigadier now comes and say that is the case. Now, what are we supposed to do with that information? Did this case, if it was done something at some point, did it start there? And these people downloaded. They did a lot.
No, they did a lot.
More than a lot, in fact.
They did a lot. They did a lot. They did a lot. They did a lot because the downloading of the Section 205s in itself, it was a very crucial evidence. And it was crucial evidence at the time. So to find out that the Hawks are the ones who downloaded the cell phones.
We probably are busy banging our heads, complaining to people who are at a lower level. The people who are at a higher level are Hawks, obvious. Who doesn't fear Hawks?
Everyone here fears the Hawks. Everyone, even the SAPS, who were Bomsia at the time when the Hawks were the first ones who were working and investigating it. Oh, hey, this is a tricky one.
But it's fine. Bomsia, they are coming on the scene, Kosami.
Hey,
they are told, hey, take that
working.
picture, take that picture, take that picture. I guess that's what the evidence was. That was led by, was it led by D4 at some point? What he was told to, was pointed.
Oh, that was the assertions and yes, the what advocate D4 was saying with regards to Messiah.
So he was told, hey, take that. That's what D4 was saying. As it is alleged. In this case,
it's allegedly.
But couldn't it be so closer? More than this, I think it's as close as they come.
And at that time, Msia had like he was fairly new in the force, right?
Imagine.
And now there are Hawks all over. And
find yourself working with Hawks.
What do? You want to keep your job. You want to not step on the wrong toes. I mean,
it's worrisome that Gininda now is able to freely mention this. But let's continue. Voluntarily. No one.
I like it. I love it. Yes. So the application for Section 205s for everyone that was in the house were done by Captain Boomslang. And apparently he's also from DPCI, the Hawks.
The Hawks. Let's use the word, the Hawks.
He's a lieutenant colonel now. Perhaps, this would explain why the head of the Hawks at the time was there at the scene. Perhaps, we have answers. Just a slight bit. So in a few days...
Now, I would be interested more if Mgomezi was still going to continue with calling the head of the Hawks. At the time. I don't know if he still is now.
Now he's at Bloemfontein. A lead investigator at Bloemfontein, at the Free State.
This guy's... who's this?
Tabo Bester. He's leading the investigation there.
Let's continue.
So in a few days from there, then provincial detectives took over and female Captain Mtetwa was the IO of this matter. So Captain Mtetwa was also working in the same office where Brigadier Mudise was. She was a colonel at the time, and there was also Brigadier Ndlovu. So it was the same office. And he does not know who played what role at the time, but he knows that Captain Mtetwa was the lead IO at the time when he was tasked by the DFCOM. It's what he refers to, the department that he was working under at the time, I think. And he knows specifically it's Mr. Mudise because when they got to Mr. Madlala to follow their session by Mr. Hlophe, he told him that what is contained in that statement. Brigadier Gininda said that he was referred to by Brigadier Mudise to say that Abotumelo did not know him, and they needed to get to Brigadier Mudise so that Dumelo can talk to them. They need to know that they were sent by Brigadier Mudise. So Brigadier Gininda said that they had to tell him that they got a request from DEFCON and they were asked if they could follow this person to respond, and he indicated that there was a resistance coming from Tumelo and that is how he knows the presence of Brigadier Modise. Lastly, he said that he further knows that there was a time when the detectives were working hand in glove with DPCI, that is the Hawks, and he said he saw that in the docket. There was a time that the detectives were working hand in glove with the Hawks.
Right. This is the time where we also have to remind you to work hand in glove with Mzansi Reality. Please like the video. 612.
Work hand in glove with Mzansi Reality
yes.
by simply liking the video. Yes, that sounds like a work hand in glove. Let me do it properly. Maybe I may make it a short nyana video. Work hand in glove with Mzansi Reality so that you can press that like button.
Press that like button. Press that like button.
Hand in glove. Yes, hand in glove.
Yeah, let's continue.
So he said that all that he's referring to the docket because there was a time when Major General Mukotedi was participating. He said he doesn't know whether it was reconstruction or some of the activities with the provincial detectives. So there was a lot that joint type of investigation team did together. So Ramasipile asked him, your team was appointed on the 12th of November 2018, and Gininda said yes, that's when he signed for the docket after being appointed by the previous National Commissioner General Setole. And Ramasipile asked him, you then indicate that there was 4 of you, Ramokhala, Colonel Buthelezi, Warrant Officer Makubu, and yourself as the lead investigators. Gininda said that Ramokhala was part of the cold case unit, but it was the 2 members who were seconded to assist the unit. But the unit itself did not have any members. It was himself, Ramohala, Sergeant Mohani, Muhola. He said there were 4 or 5 tasked to lead the investigation, and all the resources and equipment that were needed were coming from that. But second to that, it was 2 members who were then said must work specifically with the case of Senzo Meyiwa. Now, Ramasipile asked him, Warrant Officer Makubo is from DPCI and Colonel Buthelezi is from SAPS, the psychology unit based in Pretoria. And Gininda said that's correct. So Ramasipile said copies of the docket 636 were made to bounce off ideas. And Gininda said yes, that is correct. But the first assertion that all 4 of us were investigators is incorrect. I was the most senior person at the time. I was a full colonel, and I was appointed as such, as the lead investigating officer. These other 3 members were part of the investigating team in terms of investigation, but not as lead investigating officers. Brigadier Gininda Uti, there was a clear structure, and he was the leader.
He was in charge. Was he given that mandate? Or he gave himself on the basis that he is more superior, is more of a leader in terms of the rankings.
That's how he's putting it. Yes. That he was the only colonel. So as a colonel, he was above everybody. And so he was the lead investigating officer. He was the leader of the team. I don't know whether he self-appointed himself. I don't know. Or whether he was told that. He was briefed that way from the commissioner at the time. I don't know.
Only the commissioner or the minister, former minister can come. Former commissioner and former minister can clarify that part. They can also be caught. It's not an issue.
Did they hire him as the leader of the team or as a part of a team of 4 or 3?
Right.
So Ramasipile then said that he will accept the correction. Yes, he accepted the correction. So when the matter proceeded, there were differences in opinion, and that was based on whether or not there were intruders. And Gininda said yes, it became very clear, it later became clear when he read docket 375 that there was a statement deposed by Mr. Hlophe taken by himself, and it was not in the docket. The assertion there was that Mr. Hlophe's statement would have been a breakthrough in the case, and that statement was not filed in the docket by himself. And that assertion created a wedge because there was that suspicion where he was confronted that, Colonel, there is a belief that you took a statement. Where is the statement? Those differences of opinions were right up to the 29th of January 2019 when they had a meeting at the office of the DPP with the team under the lead of Brigadier Perumal. And it was clear that Brigadier Perumal was saying that as far as 636 of 2014, they are still investigating. He says he remembers that the two members in the meeting, referring to Warrant Officer Makubo and Colonel Buthelezi, that meeting was saying that the investigation was concluded. So Warrant Officer Makubo and Colonel Buthelezi were saying that they were done with their investigation and they concluded it. And that is the outcome that they came with in 375. While Brigadier Gininda and Brigadier Perumal were like, the case is still ongoing. They are still investigating. So, Warrant Officer Makubo and Colonel Buthelezi wanted a decision. They said their docket was done and they wanted the decision. So, Ramasipili asked about Makubo and Buthelezi leaving the investigation team and whether that was official. Gininda said that he wouldn't say. He said he was the lead investigating officer. At no stage did he say to them they should not form part of the team. It just happened that they were not coming through. There were no longer any reports that they were giving him coming through. There were trust issues.
Now, he should have declared them not part of the team right there as a leader, if he was a leader. This to me suggests that he was not a leader.
Because
he could not tell them otherwise. He couldn't chase them. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't say, these people are not people that I trust to work with anymore. I don't want them next to me. Because they were all appointed at an equal level. That's my assertion. Because you are saying these people were all of a sudden having, you also included, were having trust issues now. Because you are not specifically saying the trust issues was coming from one side. You are saying there was trust issues. So if there was trust issues, then let us clarify this. As a manager, let us put it in a simple terms. Let's say you are a manager and you have someone who's insubordinate of your command. What do? You proceed with the disciplinary hearing.
There's a disciplinary hearing process that needs to take place. There's somewhere where you actually report them yourself as a manager.
It's the same thing.
There's HR.
It's the same thing that was supposed to happen, but it never happened. Even when they went against you and submitted that they are done with their investigation and submitted a different docket, you didn't do anything because you guys were equals. In my opinion, because you were equals. It couldn't have been that these things were done in front of you as a leading investigator and you kept quiet, because that would amount to disturbance and all that this guy is asking for, Ramusipiri is asking for, is that that conflict cause any harm to this case? That's a question that is asking. And you are saying no. You could have solved that confusion. You could have solved that confusion by saying, I cannot work with these people. They are insubordinate.
Yeah, ne?
You didn't do that, right?
No.
Because why? Why would you not do that? Because you guys were equals. That's the only answer that I have for you.
They were equal because where do you report your teammates?
So who do I believe between Makubo and you?
Four of them were reporting to the same office.
Yes.
Because all of them were at Brigadier Perumal. They were reporting to him.
Peruman
Gininda
is
was
the
also
one
reporting to him.
who came in after, isn't it? The one who came in to oversee.
But all of them reported to Perumal. It's not
Maybe-
like Brigadier Gininda
Maybe
is the
let
one.
us not even say all of them they reported to Peruman. They did not report to Peruman. He was there to give a third opinion. They all reported to the people that
The
appointed
commissioner.
him. Yes.
The national commissioner and the minister. So, but Brigadier Perumal was brought in to bring fresh eyes. And he said that they went their
Maybe
separate ways.
Makubo will come and tell us otherwise with that Peruman too. So I'm not gonna take for now because for the sake of comparing two arguments, I'm not gonna take one side because this Peruman is new. You know, let us hear from
we don't know
Gininda's. Yes.
where his side is, but it's sounding like he's siding more with Brigadier
636,
Green.
yes.
Yes, because he was saying that the investigation is still open. So in South Africa, there's this thing of investigations being open and then they're taken to trial and then stuff like this happens and then we lose faith in the law. Because why can't you just investigate, close it? Or at least if you opened it, but there's that heavy element of investigation. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if it makes sense. But right now, we are in a predicament with this case. We're like, where's the investigation part? You know? So he said that Brigadier Perumal was brought in to bring fresh eyes into the matter and brief the National Commission on the differences that were apparent. The only time the docket left his hands was when it went to the DPP in Pretoria and the DPP in Johannesburg. So Ramosipili then asked him, now that Makubo and Buthelezi were not reporting to you and they had copies of the docket, does that mean that there was a parallel investigation? Gininda said that he would not say that there was a parallel investigation because there was only one chain of command. He also said that there is only one docket in relation to the murder of Senzo Meyiwa's case, and it's docket 636. Docket 375 is a docket of defeating the ends of justice and does not run parallel. Okay, so Gininda was basically creating the impression.
I'm puzzled by that submission. For argument's sake, you want us, let me simplify this. Gininda wants us to believe that should any day 375 stand in court and says there were no intruders there, as it said. There were people who just decided to defeat the ends of justice.
Yes.
Meaning the killer could be among them. So it rubbishes 636. So in fact, this can be I'm saying it on my side. This is the same case run on a different way. Others believe that there was a bit of defeating the end of justice there, which hindered the case from finding the real killers. And then so 636 is saying, we are arresting these people that we find as killers. Is that the reasoning that I'm getting? He is saying, if he's debunking the theory of that these dockets were running parallel on one case. So he's saying, this one is focusing on defeating the ends of... We can arrest this one and focus on defeating the ends of justice. If that was the case, why then would the NPA say pause this pending the outcome of 636, which is on its own a hogwash, in my opinion. And I'm worried about Gininda not wanting to name himself as people maybe who are there in that docket and are accused of doing such, while he's saying he's accused of taking a statement, but he's not counting himself when he has to count people that this docket 375 is focusing on. And why is that done, in my opinion, is because he knows very well that he's then compromised. What he believes about this case is belittling what he believes about this 636. Because if you are accused on the other side and you stand a chance of being arrested should that case go to court, then you are going to do anything to make sure that this one goes through for the other one to die. And in my opinion, he has not showered himself in any innocence that is there. For me, he's just trying by all means to debunk 375 and unprovoked sometimes, which is worrying. So that issue of how many people are there, it must be put to him that if he is part of the people that are accused there, you are part of the people that are accused there, and you saw this docket. Is that why you are working so hard to get these people arrested? Because this exonerates you. As the NPA has put this thing to say that it's like they're saying, go make sure that you get someone arrested so that we don't arrest you. If this is the case, that's what this implies, in my opinion.
It does. And another strange thing is that he's trying to create an impression that Buthelezi and Makubo never worked on 636 at all.
That's an impression
as
that
it
I'm
was
also
still
getting.
An ongoing investigation. They just decided to create a new docket and work on their new docket. He's not addressing the investigation element part, because that's currently what's missing from the 636 that Brigadier Gininda has. I don't know how many of you guys have noticed. Remember, there were times and testimonies that have been given in court from your Tumelo Mtogo saying that they were called by the police, they were visited in eThekwini for statements. Did you guys remember that?
I'm worried about that.
Do you remember even Zandi at some point writing a statement talking about how she was, I think at the time, maybe under police custody and had to answer interrogation questions. They were heavily interrogated, is what she said in one of the interviews that she did in the media. And now I'm like, that was investigation element of this case, but somehow it's not there. What these witnesses are talking about is not in 636.
All right, let me just clarify the issue of Gwabini. Guys, Gwabini zithakazelo zakwaZungu. So any Zungu is Gwabini.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't get confused. Any
Thakazelo, what is Thakazelo for our non-Zulu speaking audience?
We need Thakazelo, konje.
Clan names.
I'll Google that for names. You. I'll Google that for you.
So a clan name is like, how do I put it? It's like a history of your surname. How do I put it, my people? Help me out here. It's like every surname has a history, and that history is done into some kind of a poem, and that poem has names in it that are quite different. So Gwabini is like a name coming from...
Well, I'm not sure if this is it. Is Thakazelo interests?
That's wrong. It's clan. Try clan. Did you define the description of what a clan names are? What are clan names? Ask that. Because from what I remember, it's sort of like a clan name. So when there's as I was trying to explain, in South Africa, and maybe in Africa, because I saw Akon's name is very, very long. So you have a history of your surname. And in the history of your surname, there are names that are usually there.
Yeah, basically, to make it simpler, the names of those people, normally, they are names of our forefathers.
Yes,
Thakazelo, in a sense, are the names of our forefathers. You find that, let's say, the first one is Ungubane. umbomvu, or somahash. Those are somash. Others are not saying somahash. Others are saying somash. But those are the ancestors that built that surname.
There's one for, was it Ubebe? What is Bebe?
Ubebe umhlongo. That's what I was mistakenly calling Ubembe.
Yes,
which is two different things. Yes.
And another one I can make an example of. I'm trying to think.
Ziningi unondlovu ugatsheni.
Yeah, gatsheni
uthodala.
Yes.
Which is
do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you get what? So Gwabini is the one for Zungu. So everyone with this name or surname of Zungu, they are AKA.
They are all Gwabins.
Gwabini.
Yes, we're not Gwabini.
I hope it makes sense. Does it make sense?
So don't confuse the Zungu. Even the Zungu, Sizwe Zungu
that was testifying.
Is a Gwabini.
He's also a Gwabini.
If it's really Zungu. If the I didn't mean it like that. yeah, that's basically.
Yes, but yes, if he's a Zungu, then he is Ukwabeni.
Adrasta, thank you very much for your gift. Thank you. We appreciate you. May God bless you.
Does it make sense now, guys?
Yeah, it does make sense now, I hope. Let's keep on pushing the likes button. Atra, they just come in and wake up and say, thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Atra. Star, God bless you. And may everyone who has gifted us, God increase them. And everyone who has pressed that like button may also get the love and the like back from whatever they are doing. Because it's a blessing to support the channel.
So yes, is what I felt like,
but totems. Yeah?
Yeah, the totems.
Exactly.
Totems, but though it's with animals. Yeah. Totems is with animals most of the times. I know with Soto, Nalbakwena, but in
Yeah, but we don't have animals.
So the animal that represents a certain clan.
Oh.
That's also the same thing. It's a clan name.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys get it. I hope it makes sense. Yeah, it took me a while to get it myself, but I got it now. Remember, there was a time we did talk about it a lot. For those who may not know, we actually did talk about these types of topics before in the past. Yes, but we've moved on. Now we are here.
Yeah, the other people, they find us here. They think we have only started with the case. No, we are from far. But let's continue.
So Ramasipili then said, you further stated that Makubu and Buthelezi are the investigators of 375. And Gininda said, yes, Ramasipili said, and that the complainant statement is from Warrant Officer Makubu. Gininda said, yes, according to the system. So they asked him if he knew the suspects who are in 375. Gininda said that his recollection is that it is the people who were in the house and Mrs. Piri. Mapiri. Ramasipili then said, what reasons did Makubu and Buthelezi give for refusing to give the docket at the meeting that was held on the 29th of January 2019 with Brigadier Perumal, a person that was appointed by the National Commissioner to come and coordinate 636? So Gininda said that although he cannot say verbatim, but there was resistance that was also a call before that meeting where Perumal said that they did not agree. There was also an issue with protocol and why it was not followed. There was a tension, and he says that he doesn't recall the reasons that were given. Ramasipili then said, what effect did the infighting have on the audacity and integrity of the investigation? Well, Gininda said that he would not say it had a negative impact. He said that at the beginning it was a fact-finding type of a mission. The difference of opinion was not in whether there is evidence or whether there's a link of the accused. It was to dissect and to see whether what is contained in the docket, or is it someone wishing, or are the allegations saying whatever that they're saying? So whether in terms of the evidence in the docket, he said that there was no intruders, or there were intruders. So the difference in opinion was in that part, and that is where they took their separate ways.
I like that. This is the leader of the team saying we took our separate ways, yet there is no officiating of that.
So Gininda said that he followed the evidence and he was guided by what was available at the time. They collected whatever they needed to collect within the prescript of the law. So he said that there was nothing that was done outside those boundaries. So Ramasipile asked him, are you aware that the DPP is yet to make a decision about that docket? Advocate Baloyi interjected and said that there was a decision that was made and that they are waiting for the outcome of this trial. Haibo, I'm like, the decision was made pending the outcome of the case.
No, the decision is taken every time, whether you decide to talk or don't talk. That's taking a decision in a sense. One can attribute that to a decision. You decided not to answer.
So to be on the fence is also a decision.
Yes.
To be on the fence, your foot this way and another foot that way, it's also a decision.
Yes.
So Ramasipili then read the letter that was sent by the DPP in 2022. It was actually addressed to Advocate Tifo, and it was written by Advocate Tifo in 2020, pertaining to this docket.
A letter was written by Advocate Tifo, but this was answering Advocate Tifo.
Yes, it was. And Ramasipili then asked him, so the decision will be made pending at the conclusion of this trial. And he disclosed that it was signed by the DPP of Pretoria, Mr. S. Mzinyati. Then Ramasipili said that the one that it's addressed to, the one that he had was addressed to Advocate Tifo. And it was not handed up as an exhibit, but one of the state... the state disclosed to Advocate Baloyi that he has one that was addressed to Advocate Mshololo. So this is the part where now I'm now confused. Who originally wrote this letter? Does it mean that Advocate Tifo wrote the letter and then they responded, and then Advocate Mshololo wrote another letter as well and then they responded? Or, because at the time it was very confusing as it was happening, because I didn't understand how Advocate Mshololo is now receiving a response for this letter. Did she write to the DPP to ask about what was happening with 375? Or it was just merely said that maybe it should be directed to Advocate Mshololo, since at the time they had managed, or Advocate Tifo had withdrawn. You know what I'm saying? So that is the part that for me, I kind of need clarity on, to say that at the time I wasn't really paying attention to the extent to say who actually wrote this letter to the DPP. But I know it was Advocate Tifo. How Advocate Mshololo got a response is where I don't know what's happening. So Gininda said yes, but not with the matter of Senzo Meyiwa, but defeating the ends of justice. So Ramasipile asked him, you also said your initial impression was that there were no intruders, and Gininda said correct. And I qualified it when I was asked by Advocate Baloyi that it was not based on facts, but what I had heard. So Ramasipile asked him, and you made a statement. Gininda said, I do not recall. Maybe you can remind me. Ramasipile said that a statement was made in November 2020, and it was not explicit to say that there was no intruders. The statement was commissioned at NATCOM, National Commissioner Office in Pretoria, by Dewelani Dion Mlaudzi, who was a detective sergeant, commissioned on the 23rd of November 2020 at 15:30 in the afternoon. So Gininda said that the statement would not have been in relation to the statement because this case had already enrolled. He thinks that he has an idea of what Mr. Ramasipili was talking about, and that was in pursuance of KHUMALO being charged for being the trigger point. He says that he doesn't think that he would have said there is no intruders. So with regards to this statement, Brigadier Gininda said that he never said that there were no intruders. He doesn't think that he said that. But the purpose of that statement was to now say that KHUMALO was going to be charged. So in November, he said that there's a statement that he made on the 20th of November 2020, and there's nowhere where he said that there were intruders. And the next one was in November. So Ramasipili managed to find the statement and read it on record. So in the statement, Gininda detailed how KHUMALO was involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa and was making an application for her warrant of arrest on charges of conspiracy to murder and murder. So Ramasipili then asked him, at paragraph 2 where it indicates that it initially looked as a robbery gone wrong, Gininda said, yes, the people in the house clearly indicate in their statements that people who entered asked for cell phones and money. I deposed it based on the statements of the people in the house. So Ramasipili then asked him again on the aspect of occupants. He wanted to know how many kids were there in the house. Gininda said that he initially thought that there was one, but it was later brought to his attention that there may have been a second child. This is what I'm talking about. This is the flaw that I'm talking. This is a lead investigator of this case. And he didn't know how many children were in the house. Do you see what my problem is? Where is the investigation, Brigadier Gininda? These are not the details that you should be guessing and you should be thinking maybe it was, maybe it was. No, if you'd actually done the investigation, you would know that there were 2 children in the house. It's not something that you should be figuring out or you have brought it to your attention later if you had actually investigated. This is my problem right here. You know, he says he did not independently verify that. So he also did not independently verify whether there was 1 or 2 children in the house. This is a lead investigator. You understand what I'm saying, what my problem is? My problem is this nitty-gritties that he should know, that he shouldn't be needing to answer like it's a science project. He should know how many kids were there and not be hesitant about the answer. But here we are.
Oh, yes. We are back to Mr. Buffering. But I'm sure the sound is not disturbed.
Hopefully.
I'm sure the sound is not disturbed. Oh, just before I speak, they kicked us out. Oh, okay. Let's continue.
All right, then Ramasipili said that on the part where you say there were intruders or the intruder was carrying something purported to be a revolver, Gininda said that he cannot recall which witness, but it is contained in the witness statement. He would not need to go through the statements. And Ramasipili said that he wants Gininda to go and do the homework on statements where revolver was mentioned. Gininda said that he can do that, but can explicitly recall that there is a witness that said that the firearm had a wheel, and that is a revolver. Ramasipili also read Warrant Officer Manda Steenkamp's statement, who worked for LCRC as a facial identification specialist. She was called to Vosloorus on Monday, the 29th of October 2014. Detectives accompanied by Lieutenant Colonel Major MJ Streha to interview several witnesses individually. The first one was KHUMALO, and in the statement she said that Kelly told her that she and the deceased walked into the convenience store. Upon return, the deceased, meaning Senzo, family members and friends had a smoke outside the house. Miss Khumalo called them inside to say goodbye. They sat down inside and started chatting again. Kelly was sitting near the kitchen when she saw 2 unknown African men entering the house. Didn't Zandi say she's the one who saw them enter? Suspect A appeared very aggressive.
It was.
and demanded cell phones and money. The suspect was approached by Kelly and the deceased jumped up towards suspect A. A scuffle between suspect A and the deceased started. The next moment, Kelly had 2 gunshots. Funny how her running to the bedroom was not mentioned here, but it's fine. She gave the following description.
At the time, it was the protection. Remember the theory of he was trying to protect me.
She gave the following description. She said that it was an African male in his 20s, dark brown, shiny complexion, dreadlocks hairstyle, no scars, no facial hair, golden inset in upper tooth. So he had a gold tooth in the upper. Language.
That is accused number 3.
Yeah,
according
it's
to them.
supposed to be accused number 3.
Who's light in complexion.
Who's light in complexion.
Okay.
And also language, local Zulu. Local Zulu means Joburg Zulu, right? Local Zulu, because they're from Vosloorus. I'm just.
Yeah.
He was wearing a brown jacket.
That is a funny pickup actually, because these guys are all from Guanongom. He wouldn't speak this local Zulu.
He was wearing a brown jacket with a woolen collar. He was not clean in appearance. Suspect A entered the house first. He was armed with an old black revolver. Now, Kelly was specific here. Old black revolver.
Well, they refused. After a while, they started saying they don't know guns when Gininda came. They clarified, Gininda, that we don't know guns. But yet, the wheel was still there on the gun.
Well, Kelly could not describe the second suspect. After compilation, she was satisfied with the ID kit. She compiled the face with the headgear. So after the long adjournment, court resumed with Ramasipili picking up where Amanda Steen's statement was, where she said that she dealt with the description of the suspects. The second witness was Kelly's sister, Zandi KHUMALO. She told a similar version and gave a similar profile and facial description of suspect A. The only feature that she added was the eyebrows. And then she came on in court and added the high contour cheekbones.
Hey,
I'm sorry, guys. I know some people feel offended when I laugh.
No, but it's funny. It's funny. You must laugh.
In court, she added the high cheekbone and the contours. The contours were added.
Exactly
in
what
court.
you see.
And then not only that, she also pointed at Bongani Ntanzi. You were there. Why did you do this to us?
Do you know what you've made us go through?
Do you guys remember that? That's what she did in the court. And listen to this now. Listen to this. So she only added the eyebrows. This is like days after the incident. This is not like 10 years later. This is like days after the incident. She added the eyebrows.
And remember, Tanzi is the one who allegedly came second, right?
Suspect B.
Yes, that all of them, they said, we didn't get a look of how he looked like.
So she said that she added the eyebrows, and then suspect A lost his hat during the scuffling. That's how she was able to see the eyebrows, right? And she could not describe the second suspect, the one that she was pointing in court. She couldn't describe how they looked to Miss Steenkamp, so that Miss Steenkamp can draw a proper sketch of what the second suspect looked like. Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
So the third suspect he interviewed was Tumelo Madlala, who was much traumatized. He saw the scuffling between suspect A and the deceased. After hearing the gunshots, he ran off, and one of the room he gave a similar description of suspect A. He showed him Kelly and her sister's compilation, and he said that he was satisfied with the ID kit. He could not compile the second suspect, the very same one that he also pointed. Anginsabi. Uye lona, uye. Yeah, anginsabi no. That the second suspect that he was pointing in court, he could not compile. He could not assist not a nose, not a ear, not a skin tone, nothing that he assisted when it came to giving Miss Steenkamp so that she could draft the sketch. This is like 4 days later, 3 days later, 2 or 3 days later after the incident. So the fourth witness was Miss L.S. Twala. This is Mr. Longwe Twala, not Miss. Mr. Longwe Twala. He gave a similar description of what happened at the scene. He saw a scuffling between suspect A and the deceased, and after hearing the shots, he went out to look for help. He could not describe the second suspect.
I see Thomas Twala.
L.S. Twala. Longwe Twala.
He saw, how did Longwe see a scuffle then?
MS. Ntogozisi is M. And no, I don't know his second name, but M should be there in his initials.
How did Longwe see the scuffle? Because he's the first one to push.
But he did say he saw at the radio interview.
How did he see the scuffle?
Oh, the scuffle.
Because he's the first one. I was the first one.
Okay, wait a minute. What?
You are saying?
Mr. L.S. Twala.
What did he say?
He gave a similar description of what happened at the scene. He saw a scuffling between suspect A and the deceased. After hearing the shots, he went out to look for help.
Jani, because you are the first one who was the coward of the day. Stood up and realized that they had a gun. You pushed them. You ran away.
Where's longest affidavit from 2014?
Very interesting.
Where is longest affidavit? Now I really want it to be read to the record. What is in that statement from 2014?
Jani.
No. Someone must introduce that affidavit. Oh, you are the details of that affidavit. Please. What? What? So the fifth witness was Mr. T. Makeleni. He compiled the face of suspect B.
Who's Makeleni now?
Makeleni, remember there were 2 witnesses that we spoken about. Yes. In the documentary, and they said that they passed on, both of them. So Makeleni compiled the face of suspect B. Babana, I've always wondered about the face of suspect B. Ne? Where did it come from? Because the people in the house said they couldn't help or assist. They didn't see suspect B. So Mr. T. Makeleni, who's no longer with us, compiled the face of suspect B. He saw 3 unknown males in the vicinity of a gas station.
And he compiled the face of suspect B. Makeleni.
And he said these people were busy on their cell phones by the danger box. He saw them again at Kelly's mom's house. The suspect B stood at the gate. He gave the following description: that the man looked like African male, 25 years, 1.8 meters tall, slender build, medium brown complexion, clothing a black hooded top. Witness saw a golden insert in the upper tooth.
Oh.
The hairstyle was dreadlocks.
Suspect B.
Facial hair, mustache, and a beard. The witness saw something in his hand that could have been a firearm.
You know what?
And the witness could not describe the rest of the faces.
Unfortunately, I believe that story.
And I believe Makeleni.
No, I believe it. Unfortunately, he had to pass away the way he had to pass away. I believe that. You know, that would support a story that someone came with someone. And then they are the ones who went in, and then as they were in, this Makeleni then saw the other one was outside.
Somehow I believe Makeleni.
No, I believe Makeleni. And if this sketch is coming from Makeleni, then it makes sense why it looks like this. The sketch of number 2
of suspect B,
which is now used as Ndanzi. It makes sense.
Now it's in court.
It makes sense. So he saw what he saw and he described what he saw. And indeed, it came out the way he saw it. Very good describer. Unfortunately,
he cannot come to court
like any of the people that we would have loved to see them in court, well, Abondovu and everyone,
they're gone.
They're all gone. Even the neighbor, they're all gone. Well, it does make sense today.
So a sixth witness called Sipiwe could not compile any faces, but he mentioned that he saw an old green-blue Sudan near the danger box. 2 unknown African males were inside the car and the 2 were outside the car. After a few minutes, the car left and only 3 unknown males stayed behind and they were busy on their phones. A witness later saw them running. In front of them was a person with dreadlocks running with a firearm in his hand. And the other suspect jumped over the wall. I've always wondered why Mtogo vehemently denies jumping a wall.
Over the wall.
He said he jumped the small gate. I've always wondered why. I think I know why now. I think I have an answer as to why was he vehemently denying jumping the wall and he said he jumped the gate. I think I know why now. Because if he jumped the wall, then according to Sipiwe, he's a suspect. Do you see that? But as Pumen Lap, it's merely a speculation. Well, she said that she went to Fossiloras to show Kelly. She interviewed her at the neighbor's house. The depiction of suspect A, she said she could see the likeness of the face and could not describe the second suspect. Ramasipili then asked him, the reason why we went through this statement is because we were talking about the description of the firearm that some of the people in the house initially gave to the police officers at the beginning of this investigation. Gininda mentioned that the state witness Kelly KHUMALO said that the firearm was an old revolver in their statements. Longotola's statement said it was a revolver as well. The same assertion is also said by Tumelo Madlala when he said it was a 38 special. There are further statements where some of the witnesses were correcting what they were saying, that they did not have experience with firearms. They could not have said that, but that is what they said initially at the beginning. So Brigadier Gininda here was practically saying that they changed their statements. They said when they didn't have experience with firearms. They didn't know which firearms it was, and they made statements to that effect. So trying to take or debunk the revolver initially. And he's not saying he's the one doing the debunk. He's saying the witnesses are the ones who are contradicting now and doing the debunking themselves. Has nothing to do with Brigadier Gininda on this one. So Tumelo Madlala came to court. This is what now Ramasipili was asking, to say that he did not say a 38 special or revolver, but he said that he would have said was a firearm with a wheel. But a firearm with a wheel is a revolver. Okay, so Gininda said that it would be difficult for him to comment on his evidence. Ramasipili said that they will come back to the point of descriptions because some of the witnesses could not describe the second suspect to Warrant Officer Steenkamp. Gininda said that he needed to look at the witnesses' statements because although not accurate, but they do give descriptions of both suspect 1 and suspect 2. So Ramasipili now asked Makeleni and Sipiwe were witnesses that were not in the KHUMALO house on the 26th of October 2014. Ramasipili now turned to the cell phone that was allegedly stolen He asked, according to your information, Muleleki Tower Services is which place? And Gininda said that it was the Basotho hostel, and he said that it was based on the expert's information that he had. And he said he also conducted a site visit, and he found that it is right across the road. So Muleleki Tower, apparently, according to Brigadier Gininda, it's across the road from Basotho hostel. Gininda said that the tower could cover Basotho hostel, and Ramasipili said that he would like to park that question. Then he moved on to ask, you also mentioned that the victim was murdered in what was a hit and not a robbery gone wrong. Kindly elaborate on that. And Gininda said that one statement that comes at the top of his mind is the one from Gwabeni's Fiso Zungu. It talks about, or to the issue of contractual killing. We've already explained what Gwabeni is, but now my question is...
Gwabeni is that person who has not come to testify, right?
And another thing that I'm having trouble with, Sifiso. What's the obsession with Sifiso?
I guess
Sifiso name.
Usizwe
Zungu.
No.
The one who testified.
Brigadier. There's Gwabeni.
The one
who accommodated them. Right.
The one who Zungu said was his.
That's the
place.
one they are talking about.
Oh. So one statement that comes at the top of his mind is the one of Gwabeni's Fiso Zungu.
Not Sizwe.
Oh, not Sizwe.
The Yebo one. Not the Yebo. The one
also, now I get where this
the other
Fiso
one
names, Fiso names.
has not come to testify.
It talks...
Apparently, there is a statement. That's
from
what Gininda is saying.
Oh, so he's saying it talks to the issue of contractual killing, places that the 5 accused were placed at the hostel, and speaks to the issue of a contractual killing.
Why is he not there? Is he dead?
I don't know. I haven't received reports of
He's
such.
not dead. So why is he not there?
There are different statements in the docket that will speak to that, but one of them is Fiso Zungu.
Why is he not there? Not unless the guy was coerced and then he decided to disappear. After that, they cannot get hold of him. Maybe that's my feeling. I feel like they cannot get hold of him. And what might be a pleasant surprise is him appearing on the defense side, which might happen, in my opinion.
So he can't do like he does with the rest, where he presents his statement without him coming to testify.
He's trying to do that. He's trying to introduce it by force, because now they're gonna go to, if Ramasipila Kelly, they are going to try to introduce it more.
So Mr. T. Makeleni is deceased, and he passed on before the trial commenced. Ramasipili said, currently we have 5 accused. In your statement, it says 6 people acted on Ms. Kelly Khumalo's instruction. Who is the 6th suspect? And Gininda said it's Kelly Khumalo. Remember, these 5 accused were already charged, so he was referring to Kelly Khumalo. And Ramasipili asked him if further say on the statement that Kelly Khumalo was the first one that was implicated by means of confession statements. It also says that she had 4 cell phones that she did not disclose to the police. What was the relevance of mentioning this? Gininda said that in the confessions, it is revealed that accused number 3 was communicating and referring to this person as sisters. This sisters is Kelly Khumalo.
Let us remind each other. On section 205, there was no accused number 3 and Kelly Khumalo's communication.
No.
Even with staying the downloads, there was no such. This is news to me.
Stain even went the extra mile to try and connect Kelly and accused number 5 via BBM WhatsApp call.
Yes. This one of accused number 3 communicating with Kelly It only came. Thank you, Gaby. Thank you very much for joining us. May God bless you.
Thank you, Gabby.
This one of accused number 3 communicating with Kelly. It came through the so-called confession of Ndanzi. And I think someone is confused here in making enemies even ask him. And he still persists on that. There is no connection that was made, if I remember correctly, between accused number 3 and Kelly.
So maybe, I'm just speculating, the plan is one of these phones that were undisclosed to the police that are for.
No, but the download evidence is done. How are you going to introduce it now?
Maybe we'll introduce it.
John, man.
I'll find a way. Maybe this is the undercover.
Hey.
I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of this case. What are we being subjected to? I don't understand.
Even I have nothing to do with this case, but I remember some of the things that were said in this court. I do remember them. You know? So I could be a better liar if I was to go and lie. Because
and the way he said it with so much confidence. Accused number 3 had communication with Kelly KHUMALO. I'm like, how was this such a bold statement? I actually felt scared for him for a second. I'm like, what? We've never heard that evidence from Stain, from Hose, from Pinky Fine Telengam of Vodacom. Where are you taking this, sir? Where is this coming from? I saw even the judge hammering and
he tried to come back, my man, come back. You are, get on with the guy kept on. Even Nisi caught that. That's the problem.
So one can see that it was on the 4 numbers that were not disclosed to the police. That's what he said. So this information came when the 3-year period had elapsed and they couldn't get those downloads. Lina. So if they couldn't get the downloads, how did accused number 3 and Kelly call each other?
Not clear.
So Ramasipili then said Colonel Stain listed about 8 numbers that Kelly KHUMALO used at the time, and when she started using those numbers, did you determine if Kelly KHUMALO was using 6 cell numbers on the 26th of October 2014? And Gininda said that what she disclosed was the numbers of the phones that were stolen and the one where the number of accused number 5 was found. The others were found by the police. Which other ones? And whether this is section 205s. And why didn't Pinky testify about them? There's so many things that are up in the air. They are not being made clear and direct. So Gininda then said, what I can also say is that when I compiled the statement of her warrant of arrest, it was an ongoing analysis, and that is why there was an increase in the numbers. So Colonel Stain was doing a continuous investigation on Kelly KHUMALO. And Ramasipili asked him, when did you discover the other numbers? Gininda said it would have been before making that statement. So Ramasipili said section 205s could have been done by the initial investigating team on these numbers. And Gininda said no, they did section 205 based on the numbers that were disclosed. They were not aware of the other numbers. Ramasipili asked about the linkages between Kelly and the suspect, and Gininda said the pictures and the calls, but there were more linkages that linked her, but that would make him go into accused number 3. Well, the judge said you are obliged to tell the court about your investigations. Gininda said Colonel Stain discovered communication between accused number 3 and Kelly KHUMALO. The judge said he cannot accept this evidence if the statement was not disclosed to the defense. Gininda said it was disclosed. He's confident, you guys, that he disclosed it. Okay, even Nisi tried to assist there by saying, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, it was disclosed." So Ramasipili said, "On the plastic with money, did you confront Miss Kelly Khumalo?" And Gininda said he did not, because she was supposed to be charged with the accused, so it would have been done when he would have done the statement or the warning statement. One would
what
also...
What did he say too long about that plastic?
One would also recall that this was a prosecution-led investigation, and they asked if they could approach, and they had not given the go-ahead, or had not been given the go-ahead. I don't know if he asked Longwe.
What did he say about Long? Continue.
Well, Ramasipili then said, "Did you ask where the cell phone came from?" And Gininda said, "No, he did not." Ramasipili then asked, "Did you establish who shared the picture with who?" And Gininda said that is expect evidence, but he thinks that Colonel Stein explained how they were found.
Then the
in
judge
phone.
interfered. Then the judge came to assist to save the day.
He said that there are 3 different people and different phones. Did they stay together or know each other?
That's the judge asking. What is he trying to do here? Clarity, ne? Seeking clarity.
Seeking clarity.
We should believe that nonsense. That question is not seeking clarity.
For my own understanding.
That question is not seeking clarity.
I was literally giving him a memo.
That question is not seeking clarity. That question is answering the issue that Ramusipis is asking, the original narrative of that. For where did it stem from, that picture? Who sent who? That question is trying to answer that. Puti, how come? He's trying to say, how come would 3 people who do not know each other have? By the way, 2 of them know each other. One was not known to the other, or to the other 2. How come would they have the same picture? That's what he's trying to say. By saying, do they know each other, these people? You know? Why would they have pictures of the same man? Rata, did you find a bag of money, or you find a bag of bullets? 5 or 4, I don't know how many. When you we went to check for the jacket on Tanzi's house, did you find it with accused number 3, or he was arrested with his gun, which didn't have a wheel, by the way? Did you find it in accused number 1, or you just happened to find the common thing that you find on Tanzi's house, which is bullets and a black plastic
bag?
So why are we even interested now, Rata, on whether these people know each other? Why would the money be overlapping among these people?
And it's not actual money, it's pictures.
It's creepy. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no evidence.
I can download a picture from Twitter and someone else downloads the same picture from Twitter.
Or I can watch it and then it gets downloaded automatically because
from WhatsApp. Because you opened it on WhatsApp and then it goes directly to your phone.
But there were no WhatsApps.
Or it can, from the internet, okay? You can open it from the internet and save it if you like the picture or whatever.
Urata siyambuka nje noma ekhuluma lezi zinto zakhe siyambuka nje la baba mina ngiyambuka nje ngeke ngize ngisho lutho
phela when it comes to hit cases or cases where in cabbies, you need the money as well.
Yeah, you need to prove that there was a money that exchanged hands.
So this state is trying to prove with the picture.
Imagine what kind of a case. It's a Mickey Mouse.
But they have the bank statement.
And the judge is just eating on that. Isn't trying to even protect it. Jesus. These people are disgusting. Sometimes, I mean, asifuna ukukhuluma ngaze kuthiwa singama expected. But I mean, sometimes you guys disgust the hell out of me. For all I'm trying to understand, follow this evidence with you. And remember, we are not dumb. The fact that we didn't study law doesn't mean that we are just not learned at all.
This is honestly like ridiculous.
Common sense sometimes can help you figure out things. Jesus.
It was a stretch. You should have just kept it at a robbery gone wrong. This is ridiculous.
Exactly.
This is ridiculous, honestly speaking. So he said,
but for some weird reason, whatever reason that went there between them and them Kellys and whatnot, the theory changed, and now I don't think there's a way of coming back.
There's no coming back from this. Calling it a hit was a stretch, honestly speaking, because now pictures. Are you kidding me?
Now you can be arrested to downloading a certain picture of a woman.
Are you kidding me? No. No, take us serious, please. No.
No, man, I'm not worried about the picture issue. I'm worried about how the judge is approaching this. What was that question for?
Like this.
I mean, I'm one of those people that would ask, my lord, what was this question for? Why are you asking? Because I'm confused. It seems like you are answering me. You are trying to answer me, my lord.
Well, Gininda said no. That is why in his statement he says that it's concerning KHUMALO would be in touch with the people that killed her boyfriend. And Ramasipili asked him, did you approach Longwe Twala about this picture of money in a plastic bag? And Gininda said no, he did not. He found this photo and they were concerned. This was a prosecution.
And there was no explanation of how that money actually got into that phone, by the way, as Gininda is claiming that Stein explained this thing.
Wabona Hari, this was a prosecution-led investigation. It would explain a lot of no investigation that was done. I've been trying to ask myself, how come there's no investigation in this investigation? So when you are saying prosecution-led investigation, he's totally taking the ball to the NPA, in my opinion.
They must play their part.
Yeah, for the part NPA, this played. Is the NPA's case.
They must play their part.
They were the lead investigators. It looks like that's what's happening here. Because how come a police officer could not investigate the case? And the lead investigator is coming now, putting it on record that it was a prosecution-led investigation. So we're actually talking to the wrong person here. We should be talking to the prosecution.
I told you.
Yeah, and he said that they needed to know when to approach. Ramasipili asked, did you approach accused number 2 about this photo? Gininda said, in the warning statements that he took, he went through the matters relating to the case and he gave answers. Ramasipili asked if they could adjourn and return next week. So court will resume next week, Wednesday, because Brigadier Gininda will be writing on Tuesday and he'll be needing Monday off. So we'll continue probably Wednesday with his cross-examination.
Did you hear the explanation of why Longwe was not approached about this picture?
No, I did not catch.
I see. Longwe was not approached for this picture. It's a copy and paste of the explanation of what was given about Kelly.
Oh.
What did I say to you guys last time when I said things could turn out to be this way? So if they are saying with Kelly it's because we was a suspect, now when you say with Longwe, it's the same thing. You couldn't approach Longwe and ask him because of the very same thing that you mentioned about Kelly.
He was a suspect.
You see where we're going. When all fails, this is where we're going to revert to. Ukuhlala nentambo nje bozandi bahleli nentambi iyalenga nje eduzane. It's waiting. If everything fails, you know what to do. Just drag it closer to you. You put it where it belongs. The rest then will take care of itself. If fall on your sword was a person, you definitely look at Zandi and what is happening in that court. Somewhere, somehow, some people will fall on their sword. Just like the video, in my opinion. And it's all alleged. No
Everything is
offense.
alleged.
And everything said in this channel is alleged. Guys, I would definitely like to have you a call, Emily. I know you're gonna kill me for this, but hey, my daughter, Sasa, I've got a very special day today, actually, and I have to sleep and wake up as early as at 7.
Okay, let's make it 2 or 1. Let's take
Easy.
1 call.
Easier said than done. Let's take a few
Oh,
calls.
how about this, guys? We'll
No,
come
it's fine.
tomorrow.
Let's take calls. Come, guys, you can call. Let me just read the Bible of people who were here. Thank you very much for
Or
joining
maybe
us.
make it a phone calling.
Mrs. K,
Session.
Mamela, Skunana. Thank you, Sizwe. Thank you. The calls, guys, I'm gonna be waiting for them as I'm doing this. Nomzamo Shangu, our member. Thank you. Dipuo. Thank you very much. Net. I see you're complaining. Hey, it's tough on my side. Colin Vadival. Thank you. Chuku Anna. Thank you, Mzansi. Hello. Mzansi, hello. Can you hear?
We miss you guys and we want to interact.
Oh, please do. Please do. Please do.
You know, today Mr. Ano is on the roll. You know, you're so Mr. Ano. Today you're like, but they just wake up and then just want to call. I'm not taking calls. But
You're catching strays. You're catching strays.
no, Mr. Ano catching sprays today. You know, this I won't ask you guys how you are because I can see you guys are doing good, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
Gininda has an inflated sense of self-importance. You know, it's just so shocking that this man can sit there and he appoints himself as the lead investigator. You know, he's good, he's everything. You know, he's just I'm sometimes sitting there and wonder if this man actually has self-awareness. Does he even realize that he's in a court? Or he thinks he's just sitting somewhere with his mates somewhere? Because it's like he can't figure out, he doesn't realize that he's in a courtroom, to be honest. The way he acts, the things that he says, you know, and I just don't understand if he's okay in the head, to be honest with you. Yesterday, I couldn't sit through the entire thing because I was just feeling sick in my stomach. I just couldn't finish watching the entire thing. But as for Judge Rata saying that there's experts on YouTube, you know what? Yes, we are the experts on YouTube.
Yes.
And even you know, the podcasts are not going anywhere. Okay? The elections in America have shown us that podcasts are the future.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, people on podcasts are actually doing a better job than MSM media, people sitting in these big corporate organizations, all these channels. I will not name them. We all know which channels I'm talking about. You know, so he can sit there and there's many experts on YouTube. People on YouTube are actually doing a better job than MSM. They are bringing the facts, they are breaking things down, they are bringing the truth to the people. Right? So we don't care what Judge Rata thinks or says or whatever. You know what I mean? His job is to sit there, listen to the evidence that is presented before him. What happens outside of that court is none of his business.
Yep.
So I think he is just now operating beyond the scope of his duties. He needs to come out and come back inside that courtroom and sit there on top and wear his red robe and shut his mouth. We don't care about his opinions about what is happening on YouTube. He must leave YouTube to us, the public. His job is to sit there and do his work. And if his people are listening to this channel today, they must go convey this message to him that I see that he needs to mind his business and come back into the coaching and his job. That's where he belongs, not outside.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. We pack koro. You know, he must come back into the court. His job is we are paying him to sit in the court.
Yes.
We are not paying him to give us opinions about what is happening on YouTube. So he must just pipe it down and sit down, put on the red robe. Maybe they can give him a wig as well. You know what I mean? To complete it. He must do his job. Stay out of YouTube. Leave YouTube to Zanzi reality. All right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I love you guys. You take care.
Thank you.
Exactly what I wanted to say.
The scope of his duty. He needs to come out.
Exactly, because what is the judge doing in the YouTube commentary space? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stay in the court. You're supposed to actually block us. You're supposed to not watch us at all.
And if these people are listening to this channel today,
Mzanzelo. Oh, please reduce your volume. That's why I dropped you. I thought I answered you on top of a caller.
Oh no.
Yes. 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 Let us just cut it. Let's shoot straight to where we want to go.
Yes. Hi guys. No, I was just thinking that I wonder what case law Judge Rata will meet or will use in justifying his decision, because the DNA is not there to link the accused on the crime scene. It is alleged that there was a head that was found, but it cannot link them. Still, it cannot link them. And the question of the photos and which case was ever presided with what is being brought in this court. And I don't see Gininda going through or taking on or navigating his life over the defense, and I'm glad that he's not available, and I hope that Ngomezulu will use and the team this week.
Oh, you disconnected. I think it's airtime or something. But do come back if you get time. Thank you, Ned. Thank you. God bless you. All is alleged on your
Everything
behalf.
is alleged.
And the views of the callers, not ours. Yes. Bengu. 14. Good day, team. Zans. God bless you. This case has lost its direction. Even state is proof innocent. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you guys. Nkulunkulu anibusise basho njalo. Wati uJesu. Thank you, Mamela. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, our member. Mamela, I see you. You are one of our members, but this time a bit. Sathe ubabi break. Masiabelo. Thank you, Chukuana. Thank you, Spusiso Ndlovu. Thank you, Ambrose Mbata. Thank you, Gaby, our member. Thank you, and thank you for your gift. MZ, saying great analysis, Mr. and Emily. Thank you very much, MZ. Musa Banda. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Laura. And thank you for your gift again. And when I see it, I'm going to say thank you all the time. Tabiwa, thank you. Let's see. Mukhadi, thank you. Lwe. Yeah, right? Thank you.
Mukhadi.
Mukhadi. Mukhadi. Yes, I'm trying, Emil. I'm trying. Don't kill me. I saw people fighting here. People were fighting, saying, hey, use a capital letter on my name. Hey, next thing bazote Mr. Anonymous, I'll totally come. Can't I call? Hey, Colin Vavidal, I've called you. Thank you. Mamzamo Shangu, I've called you, our member. Thank you. Mrs. K, and I've mentioned you. Nat, thank you very much, and thank you for the call. Sibusison Luvu, I've mentioned you. I'm just Sikhamiti. Thank you very much. Leon Ibambile, le uncorrectile. I don't know. Butu. Butu, yes. Kule M. And then thank you very much again for being with us here. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you. We must appreciate you. Tinewo Kadimeng, our member. Thank you very much. Bongi Lakei. Thank you very much, Bongi. We appreciate you, our member. And let me see. Hey, I just had bad news, man. I'm thinking I can take those news out in my head, Emily. I'm thinking about them. I when I call names, when I say bong, I just think of something. Gaby, thank you. Welageti, thank you. Braul, thank you. Ben, hey, can you pronounce this one, Emily? Ben?
I wish I could.
Okay, that's fine. But Ben, I'll show you some other time. And Cap Kule, thank you. Lucia Maf, thank you. Z, thank you. Tumsani, Trevor, Baloi, hey, thank you. Hey, we're seeing some point now because thank you. It's difficult, tough. Mrongwe, thank you. Portia. If in case I missed the part, please guys like the video. Siavuya Tabazi. Thank you. And Sizu, I've mentioned you. I'm just looking because people are saying Ed Sizu and Dokas Shabalala. Thank you. If I don't call your name, because sometimes I'm just running through these names fast. So I might jump your name, not because I mean to, or if I do jump it, it's because my tongue cannot survive it. I will try to study it on my own. Super knowledge sharing channel. Thank you very much. Mzansi, hello. Zanzi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm back again.
Yes.
No, sorry, man. I got disconnected. Yes. Also, there's a question that I wish the defense could ask Gininda. That question is in relation to the cartridges. To say, Gininda, according to you, can you list the question that you ever asked Mapiri? Can you list them down? And upon him listing them down, to see if he's ever going to have a question where he asked Mapiri if he ever encountered the cartridges in the crime scene. Remember, during the hearing, or the judge will emphasize that certain people are laymen. So now, using that, you can then also attack the judge to say, this court has made it a point that somebody who is not a police is a layman in the sense that they cannot know the usefulness of cartridges being found in the crime scene. It is likely that they would have disposed as the Mapiri, because if he made a mistake of not saying that he ever, because it is likely that he might say, no, I didn't interrogate Mapiri. You see? And another part is where he says, because after the confession, he should have came very, very hard on Kelly in terms of interrogating her, to push her into maybe using all the tricks that police use. Take her to show her the picture of Senzo, try and traumatize her as possible to crack. Maybe he can, And also, the part that the defense ignored was when Madlala as well as Kelly's sister said that they were beaten by the police.
Yes.
So if they have said that, on a balance of probabilities, it is likely that when the accused are accusing the police of coercing them into giving confession, it is likely that they are capable, or they would have done it to them if they had done it to people like Kelly and stuff. And the defense should have asked also what type of assaults was inflicted to them, So I think they dropped the ball a little bit, because they need to be. And also, if I was them, they should really, especially you, Mr. Anonymous, get some information through your analysis of evidence in chief that is given by the state. Whatever you like me, I would have asked a piece of notes from you guys, because in a case like this, you can see that the whole state is against you as a defense. You also need to broaden your team as well to say, let me have people who will be listening and doing their own analysis and also formulating certain questions to put forward before the court, because it is clear that the court wants to save the state from embarrassment of corruption, because this is all about that. What it has been done by high-profile people, and as well as anyone that is representing the state, from Gininda to everybody that is involved. And also, the defense needs to ask the cause of death of all the people that have been killed, if he ever says that. And the fact that Kelly is not arrested, and these people are witnesses, and she's a suspect, it exposes other witnesses. She should be kept because she's got an interest on those people's evidence, because that evidence might work against her. Why are they keeping her out of prison? Because they are keeping the rest for special intendancy, for the sake of him being dangerous. Kelly also, she is dangerous because she will not want the witness to see the day of life, because they will be on her case. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very
observation.
much. Thank you.
Interesting observation, though. All of those points, they're very interesting, because when you think about it.
Yeah, right there, guys. And God bless you guys. Hey, it's Friday, but minakusasa gave me gefanish. And namhlanje, in fact. Thank you very much, guys. Kulanibusise nilale nje kahle, siyabonga. Scrutiny, thank you, retirement, Mr. Ano. Was I not supposed to mention that you were a member and Saturday break? Hey, we see you. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate all of you. It's a bye from me.
Don't watch us. You'll be very upset.
Thank you.